I was watching a video the other day about controversial thoughts on being a woman and the roles we play from Jill Guerin. Some of the things that she said made me nod along like, yep, I totally get that. And then there were a few that made me go, wait, what? It was one of those videos that sticks with you, not because you agree with everything, but because it makes you think. A few days later, it popped back into my head and I found myself thinking about money, about being frugal, about all the little and not so little things we do when we're trying to stay above water. And then it hit me. Frugal living has its own set of controversial opinions, things that might sound downright nuts to other people, but actually make a lot of sense when you're staring down a tight budget and just trying to make life work. So I sat down and made a list of the 24 most potentially controversial things that I've done or seriously considered doing to save money. Things that break the normal rules of how we're supposed to live, but might just be the thing that keeps your lights on and your fridge full. Hello, my friend. If you're new here, my name is Sara and I'm the owner of FrozenPennies.com. I'm a financial coach and the author of the international best-selling book, Fundamentally Frugal, link below. So, if you're feeling like no matter what you do, the money just isn't stretching quite far enough, you're not alone. Let's talk about the kind of frugal living that no one puts on Instagram, but that actually work. Now come at me here. A lot of people are going to be unhappy about number 4, and I know you guys have opinions on all of these. So let's hear them in the comments. Skip college, learn a trade, or build a business. Now, we grew up Generation X being told that college was the golden ticket, the path to a better life. But let's be real, a 4-year degree now costs more than a house in some places, and it doesn't guarantee a job, let alone a well-paying one. Meanwhile, trades are in high demand. Electricians, plumbers, beauticians, HVAC techs, welders, they're making great money without the 6-figure debt. Or maybe you want to start a business, a real one. Sell stuff online, become a virtual assistant, babysit, clean houses, walk dogs. The tools are out there. You can learn almost anything for free on YouTube these days. College is not the only way forward. For a lot of people, it's actually a detour. Don't have kids. Now, this is probably the spiciest one on the list, but here it is. Kids cost money. A lot of it. Yes, many would say they're worth every penny. Over $300,000 per child just to raise them to age 18, and that's not counting if they boomerang back in their 20s. And I say this as a mom. I love my kids, but parenting is a full-time emotional and financial commitment. If you're struggling to keep yourself afloat, adding another human to care for doesn't magically fix things. You can love kids and still say, not right now, or even not ever. That doesn't make you heartless. It makes you honest about your situation. Rent forever, don't buy a house. Home ownership is painted as the ultimate goal. But for some of us, it's just a never-ending money pit. You've got the mortgage, interest, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs, and sometimes HOA fees. It never ends. Renting isn't a failure, it's a financial strategy. Especially if you're not sure where you want to live long-term, or if buying would mean draining every dollar of your emergency fund, or deciding you want to live in a high-cost area. Renting can give you flexibility, peace of mind, and a fixed monthly cost. Plus, when the toilet breaks, you can call someone else. Don't have pets. This is one of those tips that always gets a big reaction. But if we're being honest, pets are expensive, like really expensive. Most people don't realize they're signing up for $20,000 plus over the lifetime of that furry little love bug. And that's assuming they stay healthy. Between vet visits, food, grooming, boarding, and emergencies, it adds up fast. If you're in survival mode right now, struggling to make rent or buy groceries, adding a pet to your plate might not be the best move. Now, I say this as someone who loves animals, but also loves not being in debt. There are other ways to be around animals. Volunteer at a shelter, offer to walk your neighbor's dog, foster if your finances allow, and pet sit your grand dog. Don't feel like a bad person for admitting now that might not be the right time for you. Don't own a car. Use public transportation, bikes, or car sharing. If you're trying to save thousands of dollars a year, ditching the car is a huge win. Think about what you spend on gas, insurance, maintenance, car payments, registration. It all adds up. Going car-free might not be easy, but it can be done. Even downsizing from 2 cars to 1 is a big money saver. Ride a bike, share a car with your partner, use public transportation or Uber when you absolutely need to. It might take a little creativity, but so does everything when you're trying to climb out of debt. Live with roommates or family, even in midlife. I know, it sounds like something you're supposed to grow out of, like college ramen or bunk beds. But let me tell you, communal living can be a smart money-saving lifeline, especially in today's economy. Whether it's moving in with your sister, your adult child, your parents, or a trusted roommate, sharing housing cuts expenses in half or more. Remember the Golden Girls? It means splitting the rent, utilities, groceries, and even chores. You don't have to sacrifice boundaries, set rules, get a lock for your door, and still have your own space. If you're serious about getting out of debt or saving for something big, living with others, even temporarily, can fast-track your goals. It's not about giving up independence, it's about getting ahead. Now, I know 2 young families that built their mom an apartment in their basements. They both had these split-level type homes, and it worked out perfectly. The young family had the upstairs, and the mom had the downstairs. It was a small apartment down there, perfect for 1 person. It kind of sounds brilliant to me. Say no to weddings. This one's freeing. You don't have to attend every wedding you're invited to, especially if it requires a new dress, a gift, travel, hotel rooms, or taking time off of work. These things add up fast, and you could easily drop $1,000 just to watch 2 people say I do. Now, I love weddings, but if you are invited to be in the wedding, multiply that. If your budget is tight, it's okay to politely decline, send a card, and wish them well. But don't sacrifice your financial health for a celebration that will be over in 5 hours. And if you're planning a wedding yourself, keep it simple. A backyard barbecue and a Costco cake can be just as meaningful without the debt hangover. Don't buy gifts for extended family or friends. This is where boundaries come in. You are not a bad person for not buying birthday or holiday gifts for your cousin's kid or your coworker's bridal shower. Now, we live in a culture of over-gifting, where expectations is to spend money just to prove you care. But gifts aren't love. If you are in a place where spending even $20 feels tight, don't do it. Talk to your family. Start new traditions like potlucks, game nights, or handmade cards. You'll be surprised at how many people feel relief when someone finally says, "Hey, can we stop doing gifts this year?" Now, we did this in my family for Christmas. We're all adults now. There are no small children. So my mom's extended family decides that we just get together for a meal, no more gifts. Refuse to co-sign loans, even for your kids. Here's the deal. When you co-sign a loan, you're not helping. You're attaching yourself to someone else's financial choices. If they default or make late payments, your credit takes the hit. Your debt-to-income ratio gets affected. You might not be able to get a mortgage or refinance your house. Even worse, if the relationship sours, you're left cleaning up the mess. If your kid isn't financially ready to get a loan on their own, they're not ready to borrow. Help them budget. Help them build credit. But don't put your own finances on the line. That's not love, it's financial codependency. Now, my youngest son just paid cash $7,000 for a Jeep Wrangler, no loan needed. I couldn't have been more proud of him in that moment. Don't renovate your kitchen or your bathroom. I get it. Your Pinterest board is full of dreamy white cabinets and farmhouse sinks. Or is that just me? But here's the reality. Most home renovations don't actually add value, at least not enough to make back what you spent. A full kitchen remodel can run over $20,000. Bathrooms aren't far behind, and you might think, well, it'll increase the value of my home, but if you're doing it with a credit card or personal loan, you're not gaining anything. You're just adding to your debt. Instead, try cheap fixes. Paint the cabinets, change out the hardware, replace old caulk or grout. Your space can feel fresh without draining your bank account. Unless something is broken or falling apart, let it be. You don't need granite countertops to be happy. You need financial peace. Quit the holidays. This doesn't mean you have to become a Grinch, But the way we do holidays, it's gone way out of control. Gifts, decor, matching pajamas, parties, travel, hosting, cooking, cards, wrapping paper. And for what? So you can spend January dodging credit card statements and swearing you'll do it differently next year? Let this be the year you do it differently. Set new rules, skip gifts, say no to events you can't afford, celebrate with simple traditions like watching old movies, baking cookies from scratch, or going on a winter walk. The holidays are supposed to be about connection and joy, not stress and overspending. It's okay to opt out or scale back. Your sanity and your savings account will thank you. Don't help adult children financially unless it's a loan with terms. Now, this is a tough one, especially when you're a mom. Our instinct is to protect, to provide, to make sure our kids are okay. But if your grown child is constantly asking for money and there's no plan, no budget, no end in sight, you're not helping them. You're enabling them and you're hurting yourself in the process. If you're dipping into your retirement fund or going into debt to keep bailing them out, that's not sustainable. You want to help? Offer a small loan with clear terms and a written agreement. Or better yet, offer your time instead of your money. Help them meal plan. Help them apply for better jobs. Help them figure out a budget that actually works. But don't keep throwing cash at the problem. Tough love is still love. Never lease or finance a car. Car payments are a budget killer. Leasing might seem like a good deal because the monthly cost is lower and you get a new vehicle, but at the end of the day, you're paying to borrow a car. You give it back. You walk away with nothing. Financing isn't much better. Between interest and depreciation, you're losing money every month. Buy used, pay in cash. Even if it's an older car or a little boring, it runs, it works. My husband and I were just talking about used cars this morning because we're trying to sell my youngest son's older car. It's cheap. It's 1986. It's an older car. It's like $500. But we were talking about how you can afford a good used car. He suggested to buy a not popular car. Something that's been taken well care of and hasn't been driven. If you can find it, an older woman who's selling a car who can't drive anymore is the best opportunity. Many times, for example, my grandmother always kept her car in the garage, so it was never out in the elements, and she barely drove it. So being able to find something that's not so popular, maybe a Buick, for example, and investing in that first before you look anyplace else is your best option for a good quality used car. Your dream car, it can wait. Right now, your dream is getting out of debt and staying out of debt. Stop celebrating every birthday. Now, I'm not saying ignore your birthday, but not every birthday needs a full-blown celebration, a weekend trip, or a pricey out to dinner. After a certain age, 13, birthdays can be low-key. Cake at home, a phone call, a quiet night in, a kid's sleepover. Same goes for other people's birthdays. You don't have to buy gifts for your coworker's party or Venmo your cousin for brunch. A sweet card or a genuine message is just enough. Celebrate the person, not the price tag. Social pressure doesn't have to decide how you spend your money. Switch to cash-only living and hide your debit card. This one is one of those old school tricks that actually work. When you live on cash, it's way harder to overspend. You see the money leaving your hand. You feel it. There's no tapping your card and hoping there's enough in the account. Try budgeting your weekly expenses, groceries, gas, fun money, in actual envelopes. Keep your debit card tucked away somewhere inconvenient. I've even heard of people freezing it in blocks of ice in the back of their freezer. If it's not right there in your wallet, you won't be tempted to use it. It might sound silly, but if you're serious about controlling your spending, this one little change can shift everything. Unplug your dryer and use a drying rack exclusively. Your dryer is one of the most energy-hungry appliances in the house, and it's costing you every time you press start. Hanging your clothes to dry might feel like a throwback to the 1950s, but it works. Set up a drying rack by a window or near a vent. Use hangers in your shower rod. Let the sun and air do their thing. Now, in winter, your house gets a bit of a bonus: humidity. In summer, things dry wicked fast. It saves money, it's gentler on your clothes, and it's better for the planet. Plus, the smell of air-dried laundry, underrated. Use a flip phone for 30 days. This one's for the brave. Switching to a flip phone or even just using your smartphone like a flip phone can break you out of all kinds of money-wasting habits. No social media, no shopping apps, no endless scrolling at midnight that somehow ends up with a $67 Amazon order. It's a detox. It forces you to be more present. You spend less, think more, and honestly sleep better. If you can't commit for a full month, try a weekend or delete the apps that tempt you most. The clarity you get is worth way more than the convenience you lose. Cut the Wi-Fi and use public Wi-Fi only. Now, I know this sounds wild, but hear me out. What if you just didn't have internet at home for a while? What if you used your phone's hotspot when you really needed it, or hit the library, the coffee shop, or your local rec center for free Wi-Fi? It sounds inconvenient, and it is, but it also cuts off a major source of spending. No Wi-Fi equals no streaming binges, no random online shopping, no browsing for stuff you didn't know you wanted. Your productivity might go up, your screen time will go down, and your bank account, it might breathe a little bit easier. Get food from church pantries, even if you're not religious. Now, if you're struggling to buy groceries, don't let pride keep you from accepting help. Church pantries and community food banks are there for anyone who needs them. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to explain yourself. You just have to show up. They've got boxes of food, fresh produce, canned goods, sometimes even hygiene products or pet food. Now, it might not be fancy, but it is nourishment. And in a world where groceries seem to cost more every week, a few free bags of food can make a huge difference. Don't let shame stand between you and what your family need. You are not taking from someone more deserving. You're using a resource built for times exactly like this. Share a bed or bedroom with your kids. This tip gets side-eyed in the US, but it's completely normal in many cultures around the world. If you're in a season where money is tight and your home is small or your heating bill is massive, sharing a room or even a bed with your kids isn't weird. It's practical. It saves on heating, electricity, space, and nighttime stress if someone wakes up scared. And no, it's not forever. But for right now, it might be the smartest, most comforting option for everyone. There's no rule that says everyone in your house needs their own room, their own TV, or their own electric blanket. Cozy up, save money, make memories. Never take financial advice from people who are still in debt. This one might sting, but it's so true. If someone is still drowning in debt, they're not in the best position to give you advice on how to handle money. That includes friends, influencers, and yes, even family. Now, I'm not saying they're bad people or that they don't mean well, but if they haven't done the thing that you are trying to do, get out of debt, build savings, create freedom, then maybe their advice needs to be taken with a grain of salt. Find mentors who are steps ahead of you, people who've walked the hard road and figured out what actually works. Learn from their experience, not just their opinions. Because your broke friend with the designer handbag and 3 credit cards, she might be fun, but she's not your financial guru. Some of these ideas might sound extreme until life forces you to consider them. And when the bills are stacked, the paycheck's stretched, and the stress is real, you stop worrying about what other people think and start doing what actually works. These aren't just controversial money moves. They're survival strategies. They're choices rooted in strength, not shame. And if this video spoke to you, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and watch this video next.